I have to say that I'm truly impressed with this entire process. In years past, it would have been tempting for any department, including the Board of Education, kind of look at the end of the year budget and say, well, let's figure out how we can spend this. But you all really rose to the level of transparency and inclusiveness and said, look, there's a surplus here. And we know that by state law, we can carry over 1%, which equals 1.64 million. So that's really a given. But here are the things we want to do with it. And we know that eventually the things you're asking for are going to have to be funded some way, somehow. So I look at this as a home run. And you put down the budget, what you want to see. There's vision, there's planning. When I was the department head in the police department, I always felt that we could have done better at projecting our capital needs 3, 4, 5 years out, and those kinds of different things that are coming down the pike, so we can prepare for them. And I truly appreciate the fact that not only have you done that, but you've done it well, and you've done it responsibly. And I'm really, like I said, I'm very impressed. I'll be the first to say to people, Norwalk is about to go from a really, really, really good school system to a great, amazing school system. And it's because of the people sitting at this table, the people sitting out there, and the people in the schools, from the principal to the assistant principal, headmasters, down to the support staff that makes the school system so great. So, like I said, I'm about to get on my soapbox, and I'm very proud of the school system. I'm very proud of all that you've done here tonight and what you're planning on doing. I know I'm going to recommend to the Board of Estimate and Taxation that we support this request and that we work together to see what we can do with the other funds as well, through special appropriations and whatnot. But thank you all. I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry, another comment?
Yes.
Ms. Murray.
Dr. Bureau, is the money that are actually given to schools for them to, prioritize how we're going to do it? I hope we monitor that, because that's something that, between our grants, what have you, just.
Yeah, I think what I'll sit with Tony, and what we'll do is create a sort of a simple process, so it doesn't have to be a cumbersome proposal. And what we're basically, a lot of these schools know what some of their immediate needs are, and they know what they want to do. And these are the kinds of things that they were sharing on that Wednesday, the 20th or 21st. And so they already have, I think, framed in their mind a good sense of what it is, and we'll make that allocation. The reason why this made sense, because every school has different needs, and so but we wanted to be equitable. We wanted to create a process that was a little more equitable and would allow us to respond to their unique needs, rather than say, we're going to take $50,000 and ratchet up Read 180 or Math 180. Rather let that school that has that need advance that. So it made sense in that regard, and we'll set up the process. We'll get word out to the schools now if this is approved tonight, and of course I think it still has to go to the BET. So before we'll tee it up so that when it is formally approved, we will have something ready to go out to the schools. We'll monitor that. We'll get the proposals in, and we're working with Rich, monitor the spending of that and how that occurs. Probably, I would imagine, just attach it as part of their site budgets as a one-time allocation, and they can spend from that.
So checks and balances actually come through Rich?
Yes. So items like this, it actually sits on the city's balance sheet, and so when the expense is getting ready to hit, we request it drawn off the balance sheet and into the account, so they can't actually spend it on something other than what we requested.
Ms. Hughes?
Okay, another last question. The surplus, will it be addressing, because an email was read to me and there were concerns from board members about that it never came out that 85% of African American males in 10th grade are reading below grade level, which was a few years ago. So will the reading grade levels on minority children, with this money, will we be addressing this specifically?
Well, here's what you're going to be addressing specifically around student achievement.
Mhm.
Last board meeting, I gave you a set of goals to hold me accountable. And those goals were very, I should say, quantifiable measures of student achievement. And they included increased performance in literacy and in math, and it went K-5, preparation of our youngsters for middle school, preparation of our youngsters for ninth grade, and more and more ninth graders eligible for 10th grade. So we have a strategic plan, we have very specific goals, we have very specific assessments. The monitoring that we talked about at the last administrators meeting Wednesday, we talked very specifically about the fact that we're going to be out in schools, meeting with you, meeting with principals, meeting with you and your teams to review student progress against these goals. We're going to do it at least 2 or 3 times this year. That was not done last year. I don't know if that was done the year before, but we're going to do it. And so those are the measures, those are the key measures of achievement. And tonight I'm going to be distributing to you another packet regarding my performance, which I would ask that you take up at the next board meeting. But it's all intended to keep this completely aligned with how you hold me accountable for to close the achievement gap, to make sure we have more and more of our young people successful at key junctures and at key grade levels. We, in turn, I can take that and say, look, you guys got to be accountable. We work with our schools. They're accountable. They know what those measures are. And right in turn, right straight down through the system. So there are quantifiable measures around achievement and around closing the gap at key grade levels and increasing graduation rates as well.
Right. So then we will be able to determine at this point, once the plan is in place and it is working and we see progress, we'll be able to determine what were the causes.
Well, my hope is that some of the major adjustments that we've made, it's not, sometimes when you're assessing what an actual cause is, it is sometimes difficult to pinpoint one specific factor. And so we have not yet hired a detailed research and accountability or research and evaluation person yet. But the idea is that a lot of the initiatives that we've advanced are going to impact literacy. When I share